All right, it is time to skol with the enemy. Boom. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. It is that time of the week. We'll be skåling with the enemy. We got Joe and Brandon from the Philly podcast. A few familiar faces to the show. We're going to get to know what these pesky Eagles have to offer come Monday night, baby.
I think this is the first foursome we've had skåling.
Yeah, you guys should.
You guys are lucky.
Hey.
Yeah, I feel special now. Okay,
you should feel special.
It's supposed to get dirty in here, man. All right, let's do this. So check out the links below. Philly podcast. You guys are up almost 4,000 subs. I mean, like I said, we've almost I've been on your show. You guys have been on this show. So familiar faces. Can't wait for this game. Not gonna lie, nothing against you guys are the best, but there's nothing. I love beating the Eagles. I don't know why. Ever since the NFC Championship game, I just got a real sour taste in every orifice of my body.
That makes sense.
I can't blame you. Cannot blame you.
Yeah, and by the way, shame on you. What's your problem taking Janarius Robinson from us? That's a future Hall of Famer.
Well, hopefully you guys can tell us a little bit about him because I have no idea. I have nothing. I have no idea. I saw the text. I think yesterday it happened, if I'm not mistaken, like late last night. Or it might have been this morning. My whole days have been just kind of merged together. So I'm glad that I'm on this show. I didn't even think of that. You guys can maybe give me a little bit of insight, if there is any, I guess.
Yeah, you got.
He's one of these guys who came from the 2021 draft class that the Vikings' new front office is just getting rid of everybody. But they did keep him to the practice squad. Athletic freak, really, is what he is. Long, lanky arms, very, very athletic, explosive, but missed out last year with an injury. We both thought he was probably going to make the squad this year. Ended up not making it. So nothing but potential with this guy.
That's good to hear. Good to hear.
We get Jalen Reagor. You get Janarius Robinson.
I'll take it.
It's a win-win.
Well, before we get into Monday's night matchup, the season is just a young chickadee. We're both 1-0, but like just overall going into the season, what's your realistic expectations for the Eagles? We talking Super Bowl, we talking playoffs, we talking you guys have the first pick of the draft next year. What are you thinking?
I wouldn't go so far to say the first pick in the draft, but I also want to be a little bit humble and not go Super Bowl all the way. But with the roster that our GM Howie Roseman put together, there's no reason why we shouldn't make the playoffs at the bare minimum. This roster, and I mean, obviously it's the NFL. Any team can do it. It takes the chemistry, and everyone needs to be able to play together, be able to play in the systems that are at hand. But with the people that we got real professionals, not project players for the most part. We got guys that have been proven, guys that not only were traded, but some wanted to be here, wanted to be part of the culture, kind of like a James Bradbury that saw the signings and was like, I want to go there. And next thing you know, he ends up having a pick six his first game as an Eagle. So there's nothing on paper, at least. I mean, we've only week one, nothing on paper that tells me that we as a team cannot make the playoffs at the bare minimum.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you look at the landscape of the NFL and the NFC and particular, it feels weak, right? Everybody had a tough week one, and I felt like there's a lot of teams that just said, I'm glad we got away, with that win. A lot of teams had two different halves of football. The Eagles weren't the only victims of not playing, their starters during the preseason. There's a lot that I'm worried about from that, first game, obviously, but I think that's still a decent thing. That's a decent place to be sitting at because I feel like they're fixable things. I think that Brandon's right to say we can't sit here and say we have to win a Super Bowl as my expectation. But the way that you look at the NFC, the way that you look at the NFC East, even, more in specific, it feels like this is an opportunity for the Eagles to really, I hate to use the term, but go all in, try and just really go run after that bag. So while I don't expect that, I do expect us to be the guys that they're talking about, towards the end of the season and into the playoffs. I do expect us to make a little bit of a run, win a game or two. So I'll keep my expectations there. But I think that there's like he said, no reason why we shouldn't or couldn't be a guy that you're talking about in February. I think we have that good of a team.
All right, Joe, you kind of alluded to my next question here. You're talking about week 1. You guys beat the Lions 38-35. How's morale after that win? Was that what you guys expected? Do you think you're going to spank them? How are you feeling after the big win over the Lions, the grit team from Hard Knocks?
Brandon's probably a lot, happier and calmer than I am. That's usually how that. I'll tell you that. That's usually how it works out. I'm not gonna say I'm in crisis mode, like, oh, everything, burn everything down. But there's the questions that I had over the off season, even with the additions, we're still there. Like I said, there was 2 halves of football for us, and it was, I don't know. I get very, very worried about in particular, the coaching staff of this defense. I think the offense did their job. When you score 31 points, you should win most NFL games. And I think that we can all agree there. You should usually win that game. So the defense, just the total collapse that they had, that does worry me. It's not, like I said, we're not going to, shut everything down yet. I wouldn't mind seeing a total shutdown of this defensive coordinator. I think we've seen everything he can do, but that's probably like my only negative of that game, and in the capsule of what Jalen Hurts has to do, I can't really sit here and say I took something away, positive or negative. I have to see it over a couple games. I will say that we probably don't win that game if it's not for Jalen Hurts. So, overall, I'm happy that we got the win. Like I said, a lot of people struggled last week, so I'm hype about the W, but there is a lot to look at in that W. I just downloaded an hour and a half of, all 22, just sitting here looking and trying to figure out where it is we can improve. Because when you have a bunch of great players, to me, and we do have great players, in my opinion, it becomes the scheme. It becomes coaching. So where do they have to improve? What are we not telling these guys, prior to Sunday that maybe we need to? So there's a lot to take out from it, but it's always easier to digest when you have the W, kind of backing it. You're not looking at a loss. So I hope that they fix a lot of things next week, but I think they will.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, going into the game, I remember last year we annihilated them last year. So, that's kind of like in the back of their minds, like, we can't let that happen again.
Yeah.
And they were on Hard Knocks. Everyone sees the hype speeches from the coach. Jamal Williams is getting into it. Like, that this team's coming in hype. But then there was 3 quarters where we dominated them, where this game should have been a blowout. And then all of a sudden come the fourth quarter, come the end of the third quarter, and they're right there. And I'm sitting there like, no way. This can't be happening like this. Are they really about to come back and win this game like 40-something to 38? And I'm just sitting there just like in disbelief. And that's something like Joe alluded to that they need to fix up. It is week 1. Everyone had their blunders. People were missing kicks, played bad. It is what it is. The Broncos lost in a game that I don't think anyone thought they were going to lose. And so there's a lot to go ahead and fix, and conditioning. People look tired on our defense. They were rotating that defensive line, and even the back, like people that were going in, coming out, still look gassed. So there plays a part of not playing your starters in the preseason, not getting that in-game experience, thinking that only the practice, joint practices was enough. And obviously it might have not been. If we played a better team, we probably would have lost. At the end of the day, I mean, I had DeAndre Swift on my fantasy team. So, I mean, there was a positive there when it came to fantasy. But when it came to watching my birds, I was disappointed at the end of the game because of the way that they came back and how it could have been a traumatic loss that might have set this team downward for the season. I don't know how they're going to handle loss with all these new personalities, but especially a loss like that should have been a statement win where we were up like 38-21 or 38-14 at one point.
Well, I'd love to feel bad for you guys, but we gave the Lions a first win last year, so I'm so sorry about your win on Sunday.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. At least we got out of there with the W.
Yeah.
I said it, I did a video kind of like right after it, and I was like, this is kind of probably a coach's guilty pleasure. Like, they're probably like, it sucks to get into a tight game like that, but there's so much to review. There's so much to learn. You know what I'm saying? There's so much film that you can just go over and fix things. So you win, and you're going to get to kind of teach yourself about yourself. And that's why this week it's hard to really focus on the Vikings, because it's like we got to fix ourselves, and I think we can beat a lot of teams, including the Vikings. So it's tough.
Yeah, we'll see. I can't wait for this game. This is going to be a damn good game. But health-wise, how are you guys looking? Any injuries? AJ Brown happened to tweak his ankle, just maybe to miss this week or anything like that yesterday?
Not that I see. So I mean, as far as right now, and Brandon could probably go on this a little bit further if he knows any. Only person I really know that's like probably kind of a big loss is Derek Barnett. He tore his ACL. Obviously we picked up your guy. You made me feel very confident about him, so maybe he gets some snaps against you guys. That would be nice.
It'll be his first. It'll be his first.
Hey, I would be cool with it. We'll find out if he's a beast or not. But other than that, I think we're pretty healthy. I may be wrong about that, Brandon. I don't know. I think we're pretty healthy going into tomorrow.
The biggest one was Derek Barnett, and fortunately for us, we have depth at the defensive line. Go ahead and pick up your guy from the practice squad, who probably, like I said, when we were behind the scenes, like he probably won't even see the field. The hope is that he probably won't have to, but we have great depth there, and praying to God that everything goes well into the weekend this week.
Yeah, we're also pretty damn healthy too, so we got that going for us. So I want to ask you guys about Jalen Hurts. Number one, are you guys Jalen Hurts believers? Last year was very, very decisive across the league. Opinions on Jalen Hurts, and will this team go as far as Jalen Hurts can take them?
You can take that first, Brandon. You know how I get about Jalen Hurts.
I've been on the side of sticking with the starting quarterback. There was Carson Wentz. Eagles fan nation was trying to defend him to as much as we could until everything fell out. And then Jalen Hurts comes in, and originally everyone's just kind of like with the draft pick. Why are we doing this? Blah, blah, blah. But when you sit down and take away the leadership, there's no question about it. The guy is, if not he's probably one of the best leaders in the NFL right now. The guy knows what to say to the media, knows what to say to his team. Never seems like a deer in the headlight. It doesn't seem like for our past quarterback that would always say, we need to look in the mirror. Literally every press conference was, we need to look in the mirror. And Jalen knows how to do it. So there's no question about his leadership. But there are things that he does need to work on. This team, to answer your question, this team will go as far as Jalen Hurts takes them. As you can see with just even the Lions, our defense kind of went to the wayside toward the end of the game, and we needed plays from Jalen if it was running out of the pocket, because even the offensive line at times did not look great. There were either miscommunications or missed blocks where guys were coming off the edge. Maybe Jalen didn't even see like the corner lined up or something like that, so that he had to make a move and make plays. And without a mobile quarterback yet the other day, we might not even win that game. We might not win that game without Jalen Hurts being able to escape the pocket like that. So this team's definitely going to come down to Jalen Hurts playing well. I don't need him to play Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, but he needs to play well enough to be a game manager and be able to extend the plays with his legs, along with throwing the ball from the pocket. And some of the things I saw that concerned me was that he got a couple balls batted down a little bit too much in one game for my liking. Maybe he needs to talk to Michael Vick, because Michael Vick was not the tallest quarterback and took like 8 steps back before throwing the ball. He also had a cannon of an arm, so there could be the difference there. But definitely I'm a Jalen Hurts believer because he makes me believe. But as soon as things go downward and we need someone to step in, I don't know if it's Gardner Minshew or someone else in the future, then obviously I'm an Eagles fan at the end of the day. But right now I'm riding with Jalen Hurts, my guy.
Yeah, no, I think that's like the overall feeling and sentiment about Jalen Hurts. Like, I think that everybody's just I've been called the Jalen Hurts hater. People think I'm a Jalen. It is what it is. I don't hate Jalen Hurts. I'm very honest about what I see and the deficiencies I see. I think it comes down to our organization. And to answer your question bluntly, yes, this team will go as far as Jalen Hurts takes them. But I think it comes down to this organization. If they're willing to wait and be the team that Jalen Hurts suits, that suits Jalen Hurts, I should say better, kind of like what they did with Lamar Jackson. Maybe not to the full extent that they did with Lamar Jackson, but you have to make an offense that's going to use what Jalen Hurts is good at and protect him not only from hits, but protect him from himself. He's not a guy that can throw the ball 60, 70 yards down the field, then don't ask him to do that. So it really comes down to this organization just kind of building this offense around him, which I think they did. So I believe in him. You know what I'm saying? Like the short and tall, like I did see yesterday, the one thing not yesterday, but Sunday, the one thing I kept saying last year that kind of got me as the label as a Hurts hater was that I didn't know if he could win us games. And to Brandon's point, and like I said earlier, that he won us that game. There's really not much ifs, ands, or buts about it like that. Him and the offense, I won't say it's just him because obviously our running backs kind of soaked the game away, but it was him. If we didn't have him being able to make those, second and 2, second and 3 into 15, 16-yard runs, we just don't win that game. The middle of our defensive or our offensive line was, I don't know what was going on. It was miscommunication, but it was just bad. It was terrible. So, there's good and bad to any other quarterback. He's not Tom Brady, but who is? So I think that he'll be fine. He just needs to keep being him. And I think that the whole city of Philadelphia will be cool as long as you're winning. That's all we care about.
I look forward to Zadarius Smith and Daniil Hunter having him fill his pants front and back come Monday night.
I'm a little nervous.
Running.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Let's stick on the offense. Let's talk A.J. Brown. Dude had himself a day, 10 for 155. But what's up, Devante Smith? What's your thoughts on him so far? I mean, looking at his stats last year, he put up some good numbers for a rookie, no doubt. But what's your expectations for him this year?
Yeah, I think Devante's going to be that dude. I think Devante's a dog. I mean, that Jalen after the game went up. Jalen Hurts went up to Devante Smith and basically said, "You'll get yours next time. A win is a win," and that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? He was targeted. That's something that a lot of people are talking about in Philadelphia. That little bromance, maybe a little bit too much. I think it was one game. I think it was very safe. You know what I'm saying? He knows AJ Brown probably better than anybody else. I know Devante Smith was on this team last year, but that's his boy. They've been training all off season together. He knows AJ Brown. So I think it was just kind of comfort blanket type thing. You know what I'm saying? But Devante Smith going to be a dog. Devante Smith, I maybe I'm alone. I doubt that I'm alone in this thought process, but I think Devante Smith is going to be one of those guys. He could have been our number one this year, and the Eagles fans would have been very happy. I think we were not expecting to get the type of player that we got in AJ Brown. A lot of Eagles fans look at it as 1A, 1B. So Devante Smith, I'm not worried about what happened week 1. It happened. It is what it is. But I doubt that he has another game that he does not have a catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it's going to be a point to make sure he's part of the offense, which it should be. He's that good. I truly do believe that.
I mean, like you said, I think all of Eagles Nation can agree about Devante Smith. I mean, the guy won the Heisman in college. We've seen his route running. We saw him last year. We saw the toe tap catches. Like, the guy can do it all. And just like Joe said, it's a new toy, week 1. And it wasn't even like the ball was force fed to him, like to AJ Brown, to the point that, like, dang, that almost was a turnover, or wow, why would he throw that? He's just trying to get AJ the ball. The guy was open. He was open. He was able to get open. Jalen, I think there was one slant route that he was able to needle in there. It was a perfect pass. And then the deep ball, I mean, the guy was open. He bullies people. I mean, it is what it is. You're going to get days where, if you're fortunate enough as a team, you have the opportunity to have like an AJ Brown have a big game one day, and then a Devante Smith, where it's not all just one player being the focal point. I mean, you guys might know it from as a Viking standpoint. You guys have Justin Jefferson, who is your one, and then I'm assuming you have Thielen as well. He's starting to age a little bit. I feel like maybe he gets hurt here and there. But you guys also have like that 1A, 1B.
They got Reagor too. Don't forget Reagor.
Hey, that's one thing.
That's 1C right there. That's
but you guys can relate when it comes to having two receivers. Even before Justin Jefferson, you guys had Stephon Diggs. You guys have had two good receivers or two great receivers on your team at all times. So it's kind of like just knowing that, hey, this guy might have a big game this game. That doesn't mean the other guy's bad. That's just how the game felt this time, and maybe next time you'll have bigger points. I mean, unless it's fantasy reasons, that's the only reason why you'd be upset that Devante really didn't get the ball, because, like you said, we got the dub.
Yeah, I was just shocked to see that goose egg for him. But you did mention Jalen Reagor. So I want to know, when he was still with the Eagles there the last couple weeks, has everybody given up on him, ready to move on, or was there still hope he could turn it around? What was the whole aura around Jalen Reagor before he was traded to Minnesota?
Hey, be nice now. Don't be rude.
It doesn't matter. We got Justin Jefferson, so it's fine.
Brandon, I want to hear it. Let's hear it.
You know what? Because this is how me and Joe are. I'm pretty much an optimist. I'm always an optimist. I'm always thinking of that optimism and everything. And I had hope that maybe, just maybe, because he does decent to well in training camps. He's been doing that for the last couple of years. He's been on the Eagles. And you just see him in training camp. You're like, all right, he's working hard. He has this crazy catch. He's going to turn it around. He says he's turning it around. Everyone's talking highly of him and how he's a hard worker. I mean, that's the beauty about the Eagles, like that everyone on the team has each other's back. There's no one that says like that shies away from hyping up another player on our team. So when you hear the other players hyping him up, you kind of sit there and you're like, dang, like maybe he does have a shot. I mean, I think Howie Roseman was just talking about him positively like 2 days before the trade even happened. So you're thinking like, all right, the cuts happened, the 53-man roster is here, and Jalen Reagor is going to be the number 4 at this point because Quez Watkins is our number 3 and has proved to be a little bit better and way faster. So we're sitting there, at that point when the 53-man roster is there and the season's about to start, in your brain, you're just, what, I hope for the best of this guy because we need him to be at least a good receiver. We know he's not the best. We know that we reached on him as a first-round pick. Howie admits that he reached on him. But to be blunt with you guys, honest, I was optimistic, more so than maybe Joe was. But I had something there. I was hoping.
I'll say this. I'll say this much, and I'm not going to bash Jalen Reagor. It is what it is at this point. I did say, and you can have Brandon, you can attest to. I said this year I'm going to have his back. I was like, this year I'm going to say that he's going to have a good year. I'm going to try and be positive about Jalen Reagor. I think that it was best for him to get out of Philadelphia. It's a little bit weird, the landing spot, just because now you're basically leaving a spot because of a player, and now you're going to be backing that player up. So I don't know how that really works. Like, because we hate him because of Justin Jefferson. Like, if Jalen Reagor on his own, he was just a bust, we wouldn't. It would be like, all right, yeah, you're trash. Like, just let's move on. It is what it is. But there's like a lot of people that dislike him just because of Justin Jefferson. That's always gonna be the tagline. You know what I'm saying? We picked him over Justin Jefferson. So now you're his backup. It kind of blows my mind. I don't know if that was like a last little bit of like, here you go from Howie, but God bless him. I hope that he does figure it out, and I hope that he does get everything together because it was becoming a mental health thing with him. And I think that a lot of people are afraid to say that, but it was becoming something that he was shelling up. He didn't want to be in the city. He didn't want to be around people. He was turning off his social medias. People were getting to him, and Philly's that type of city. So, I hope that it works out for him. And in an offense like yours, where he doesn't have to worry about being that first round pick, I hope that it's something that he needs. But in Philly, it was just bad. It was just nothing worked out.
Well, if he needed a boost, he got one from our special teams coordinator who was salivating over his glutes and his thighs and his calves. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, it was getting awkward.
It was something. It was a little uncomfortable.
You guys must have been happier than shit the fact that you guys got some draft compensation for him, and actually not a decent draft compensation.
Surprised. I think that's the word. Surprised.
Well, we gave a 4th round pick a year ago for Chris Herndon, so
Yeah, we'll give up draft picks for anybody. So we don't care about that. That's nothing. All right, come Monday night. I mean, like we've mentioned a few times. I mean, this is going to be a great game. I mean, this could be a game that really just decides how the beginning of the season goes for these teams. What should the Vikings be most concerned about on this Phillies roster? Position wise, player wise. I mean, who could come out and just really burn the Vikings' ass?
I mean, when you play a mobile quarterback, you got to always take account of his legs and his mobility. I mean, playing you guys kind of scares me. And I mean, obviously you're not going to go undefeated. I mean, you could, but there's a very low chance you're going to defeat us. So there's a chance you're going to lose. And the way that you guys beat us last year, where we made Kirk Cousins look like this god of a quarterback, that worries me. That I'm hoping that communication between the DBs and everything, don't let Justin Jefferson or whoever just go off on us. Like, if you're gonna go off, at least like make it a game and not something where we're sitting there like, oh my god, here comes another big play. Oh my god, here comes another big play. So I mean, you guys have the tools to give us a huge challenge and everything like that. But I mean, you guys have to look out for Jalen Hurts. That guy, when you think you have him, you can even look back at some of the highlights from the Lions game this past week. You would think that most quarterbacks, they're sacked in that position, and the guy's coming off the edge, coming right up the middle in his face, and he takes one step and he's out of the pocket, and your guy's chasing him down, and there's a lot that goes on with that. And then your DBs have to also improvise and cover great guys like A.J. Brown and Devante Smith, along with Dallas Goedert, or even when we use Kenny Gainwell out of the backfield as a pass catcher. There's a lot going on in our offense that should worry you guys, and that would really help us win. But I feel like the key player to really focus on is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. And since he went offense, I'll go defense. I think that our defensive coordinator is feeling the pressure from not only Eagles fans, but maybe the organization as well. A lot of people want to see more Jordan Davis. I think that if Jordan Davis is in there, look, DeAndre Swift is a good running back, very good running back. You guys have a very good running back as well. So, if we don't see more Jordan Davis, you'll know. But if we do see more Jordan Davis, I think that it will mightily affect the running game that you guys are probably going to try. And I don't know how committed, I should say, to the running game you guys are with all those offensive weapons as wide receivers, but I feel like you can gash us in the running game right now. And if they put Jordan Davis out there, I think that it would tremendously help us out on that defensive side. And like I said, I do feel like they have that pressure. So I'm gonna make it short and simple. If we have Jordan Davis out there, I think his number is 90. If you see number 90 out there, you'll see the impact.
He's ginormous. How the hell can we miss him?
Exactly. You'll think it's two different guys.
Love that guy.
Yeah, I definitely wanted Jordan Davis this year. All right, so what's one area, maybe two, the Vikings could definitely expose and take advantage of on the Eagles? A weak link, if you will.
I'll say cornerbacks. I mean, I'll say cornerbacks because I think that that's still probably an issue. Because if you get past our first level, we don't really have guys that are going to come up and like thump you. Chauncey Gardner Marcus Epps but I would say cornerbacks because Darius Slay is good, James Bradbury is good, but you guys have really good wide receivers, man. And this defense hasn't shown me enough to really make me think they're going to just flat out stop you guys. So I'll go simple and say cornerbacks.
And I was gonna go with safeties. It was kind of like that whole DB room. Like I have faith in a Bradbury and a Slay, but the fact of the matter is, you guys do have really good wide receivers. And Kirk Cousins during the regular season, the guy puts up stats for a reason. He puts up numbers because he's able to hit these guys. And I think that that's going to be, if we can't get the pressure on him and he's able to sit in the pocket and sit comfortable, it's going to be a long day for the DBs. I mean, that's for any team. If you don't get the pass rush is the DB's best friend. And I think once you get past our corners, I mean, I still need to see Chauncey Gardner to see how he really is at safety. I mean, you kind of give him a week one break. He just came to the team and he was playing the whole time. And then Marcus Epps is a guy that earned his spot as a starter, but did he earn his spot because we just didn't have the talent there? Is he just the best that we had available, or is he developing into being a solid safety in this league? And so once you get past the corners that have been proven but are a little bit on the older side, is that the back end of that defensive backfield really going to hold out? And Kirk Cousins can throw the ball deep. We've seen it. I've seen it against the Eagles. So it's just a matter of, are they going to be able to communicate well and be able to cover your guys when they do those deep posts, deep fly routes and stuff.
All right. Once again, we are joined with Joe and Brandon from the Philly podcast. Be sure to check out their links down in the description. Before we wrap this hog up, quick, before we get into kind of your expectations for Sunday, your draft last year, I mean, Lupagus and I loved pretty much every player that you drafted. I mean, Juergens, Dean in round, was that 3? Jordan Davis. I mean, how excited are you about that draft class and just kind of the future of the Eagles? What are you feeling?
Yeah, I think we got some dogs. I think this whole offseason was really big. Not just the draft, but even the trades during the draft. We got a lot of young players, a lot of youth infused into this roster, and a lot of talented youth. We made out like bandits. And it's exciting. We have to use them now. Just like I said with Jordan Davis, we didn't really get to see a lot of them. The first 3 rounds of our draft, they all saw 25 snaps in game 1 combined. So, we need to see them play.
From Davis.
I want to see. Yeah, exactly. So I want to see a lot more from them, but I'm excited about the future. I definitely think that they're talented.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing to not be excited about. Like you just said, like Joe said, we invested. We got the younger guys. We picked up younger guys, free agents. We didn't specifically get like a 30-year-old wide receiver or something. Like AJ Brown, I think is like 25 years old. Like he's still young. And we got younger because we're going to lose guys like Fletcher Cox to age. We're going to lose Brandon Graham. We're going to lose Jason Kelsey. We're going to lose some of these key players in our team because of how old they're going to get. Eventually, they're just not going to be on the team anymore. So now on top of that, we still have 2 first-round picks next year as well. So we have the draft capital for next year. We're able to make good picks. I think Howie, our GM, mentioned in his last press conference that he needs to start just, taking that best player available instead of trying to get too cute or too smart, aka the Jalen Reagor pick, and just go ahead and take the Justin Jefferson that falls to your lap kind of pick. And I think that's what he did this year, especially when it came to Nakobe Dean in the 3rd round. Cam Jurgens made sense. Jason Kelsey went out and said that he helped scout him, and it showed in the preseason that he is a dog and can resemble Jason Kelsey in athleticism and everything like that. And then obviously trading up for Jordan Davis. I mean, the guy's a freak athlete. I mean, anyone would have been happy to get them. I think the Ravens were salivating over them until we jumped right in front of them. So I can't complain about this draft at all. It looks good for our future so far.
All right. Well, let's put a bow on this thing. Quick and dirty expectations. Maybe not a score, but what are you feeling coming into Monday?
A lot to love. Go Eagles. Go Eagles. No, I think it's home opener, man. I think we take this win. I really do. I think that if we lose this game, there's going to be a lot of questions in Philadelphia, and a lot of the confidence that we may have exuded during this show may not be there. So this is a win that we need. And we need to make a statement at some point, man. I thought that the Detroit Lions, if we would have stopped that half, that was the statement that I wanted to see. But obviously, there's 2 halves to football, and we need to play them against you guys. So I expect us to win, and I expect us to go out there and prove that last week was just us kind of getting rust off.
Thanks. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say otherwise. I expect us to win as well. I mean, it's our home opener. We just came off the type of win that I'm sure they didn't want. They wanted a better defensive play at the end of the game, and I think they're going to come out with more of a fire this game. When it comes to the Lions, like, it's easy to say you're not going to sleep on them, but I'm sure in the back of their minds they still were kind of sleeping on them. They can't sleep on you guys. You guys have a squad. You guys beat us last year, so I'm sure they're going to pay attention to that and watch the film from last year and not trying to have that repeat for years to come like we did with the Seahawks or something, where Russell Wilson, we couldn't beat Russell Wilson. And I'm not trying to sit here and be like, we're pretty good with teams, but we can't beat Kirk Cousins. Like, that's just not what I want to do. So I expect the Eagles to win.
Nobody's beating Kirk Cousins this year.
Yeah.
What's no problem? Lupagus, anything else?
No, but I gotta say, talking to you guys, I feel better about our chances, to be honest with you. So thank
Wow.
you. Something about your secondary. No, I was worried about the run game, but because we did give up 6.2 yards per carry against the Packers. Luckily, they didn't throw the ball that much or run the ball that much. So that's what concerns me.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fantastic game Monday night. I see a handful of points being scored, and hopefully it just doesn't go to the end. Monday night game going down to the end is a bad Tuesday because I can't sleep.
No sleep. Yep.
Shit needs to get over.
Awesome for work.
All right, well, there you have it. Joe, Brandon, fantastic. Check out the Philly podcast down in the link. Hit them up, give them a sub. Get to know your enemies just a little bit more.
Yeah. Let me give them some shit too this week leading up to the game. Why not?
Hit up your comments, man. Hit up.
You might as well.
Absolutely.
Might as well.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks for dropping on, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.